If you're anything like me, you went in on altcoins, all in on altcoins just before this correction. And if you're anything like me, your portfolio looks something like this today. But the truth is that the problem is not about today, because if you look at the weekly, if you look at today, look at the number, how much down the tokens are. Big tokens like Filecoin down 15%, Injective down 12%, near 12%. These are big drops for a week, but they're happening in a day. Let's zoom out for a week and you can see that things like Injective are down 30%, Fetch.ai is down 30%, 𝗙𝗢𝗡𝗙𝗢𝗡 is down 30%. And if we zoom out for a month, it's basically hell to play. It's massive numbers down. Now, the thing that we have to look at is we have to look at what's going on in the altcoin market, because when you look at the charts in the altcoin market, they look something like this. And if you look at these charts, what you'll see is that not only are we down 40% on the altcoins from the high, but we're also at the same level we were in December 2023. So we've basically erased the whole year's gains. And I think it's time that we admit that there is a systematic issue with the altcoin market. There is a massive issue with the altcoin market. And if we carry on throwing our money at the altcoins, we're gonna get wrecked. The big question is though, is if you are all in now, like me, what do you do? So what I decided to do was let's look at what's wrong with the market. Let's look at the systematic issue. Let's analyze the data, and then let's make some decisions about what we want to do, and then let's make those decisions fast and actually execute before it's too late. So that's what the show is about. It's for the altcoin degens. If you're all in on altcoins and you want to know what to do, this is what the show is about today. So let's get going. This is what it feels like today, right? This is what it feels like today. Like, I know it's rough out there, and I know it feels like an absolute capitulation. I mean, just look at these bubbles. Look at the bubbles here. It's an absolute capitulation out there. This is the monthly numbers. These are the daily numbers. And I must say, yesterday actually felt like a massive altcoin capitulation. And I think it's time that we realize that something is systematically wrong with the altcoin market. You can see it in the charts. If you just dig a little bit deeper than the basic charts, just look at the total 3 chart. The total 3 chart has basically taken us back to February. But if you remove the top 10 tokens from this total 3 chart, if you remove the top 10 tokens, and if you want to do that, just go to TradingView and write the word others in the top here. What you'll see is that we're actually back to the levels of where we were in December. Now, that means that we've given up the entire year's gains. If we thought that we were in a bull market this year, we've basically given up the entire year's gains this year. So we thought we were in a crypto bull market. We're actually not in a crypto bull market. We're actually in a flat market. And if we continue to go down, you can actually say that altcoins are actually in a very bad bear market. So I know that most of you are like me, and I know that most of you have got most of your wealth actually invested in altcoins. So I think today we have to have a very serious conversation. I say serious conversation, but I'm wearing a McDonald's hat. Okay, so let's put the McDonald's hat down, and let's have a very serious conversation about what to do in your portfolio if you're 100% in alts or 90% in alts. Now, I know that most of you are, and I think that's why we have to have a discussion about what do we do? Do we jump now and go back into Bitcoin and ETH and just put our money safe? Or do we stay in our positions? That's what we're going to be discussing today. So if you are holding altcoins, don't miss today's show. Today is a very important show. So listen, first of all, I want to just thank all the new subscribers. There's a lot of fucking new subscribers. Look at this. I mean, 10% of the Banter subscribers happened this month, which was amazing. The other thing that I want to thank you guys for, which is absolutely, it is yesterday, look at this. Yesterday, we had one of our biggest shows ever. I guess you guys liked the Andrew Tate shows, right? I guess you liked the whole thing about me and not dressing up like Andrew Tate. If you like that, you want to watch the show tomorrow. But I mean, let's just look at yesterday's show. Yesterday's show got over 105,000 views so far. So it'll probably be one of the biggest shows we've ever done. So thank you if you watched that show. If you're here today, smash the like button. I know it's tough. I know that it's tough for me too to get out of bed and to make crypto content like this every single day. But you know what drives me? The fact that you guys are here every single day. We're in this together. You press the like button. It shows me appreciation, and we get through this together. Let's talk about where we are. Let's have a heart-to-heart chat. Let's agree that in this show, it's all about being honest and transparent, not only with each other, but actually with ourselves, right? Let's just be honest. Like, I know that sometimes we want to believe that the altcoin market is just going to recover. I know that we sometimes want to believe that the altcoins are just going to go back to the moon. But guys, maybe it's time that we realize that this is the chart of the altcoins, and it is absolutely capitulating. And that means that there's something systematically wrong with the market. That may be what it's like. And you can see that when you look at the daily. I mean, as I said, just look at the numbers in the daily. Crazy numbers. If you look at the weekly, it gets even worse. The monthly is a fucking shit show, okay? Other than if you were holding some Brett, Notcoin, and some other coins. The monthly, 40% down on Rune. That's nearly a 50% sell. Algorand down 25%. Just look at these numbers. ICP down 40%. This is a proper altcoin bloodbath. Now, the scary thing about this altcoin bloodbath is that look at Bitcoin. When you look at Bitcoin, there's nothing wrong with this chart. There is nothing wrong with the Bitcoin chart. In fact, like the Bitcoin chart is very much in the range. And actually, had we been speaking 2 weeks ago or a month ago, then we would have said, hey, this is actually quite a good performance for altcoins. We're back at 65 from being at 60. The problem is not Bitcoin. In Bitcoin, everything looks fine. Just look at the fear and greed index on Bitcoin. Now, people look at this fear and greed index and they say, hold on, the fear and greed index is broken. How can it say that we're at greed? We should be at extreme fear. Because this is only actually measuring Bitcoin. It's not actually measuring the altcoins. The thing with Bitcoin and ETH is that Bitcoin and ETH are sheltered by the ETF and the promise of the ETH ETF. So when you look at Bitcoin and ETH and you look at the 65,000 on Bitcoin and you look at the 3,300 or 3,400 on ETH, you think that there's nothing wrong. But the reality is that there is something very, very, very seriously wrong. And it's not wrong with Bitcoin and ETH. It's what happens. It's wrong when you take out Bitcoin and ETH and you say, what does the crypto total market cap look like when you take out Bitcoin and ETH? And the reality is here is the big problem, because this market is down 30%. And this market has wiped off the entire year's gains. And if you dig down and you remove the top 10, in other words, you remove, let's just see what the actual top 10 are. If you remove Bitcoin, ETH, BNB, Solana, Lido staked ETH, XRP, Toncoin, if you remove those and you look at where this market is in a bad situation. This market is here. It's taken us back to the levels that we were in December. We've given up the entire year's gains. And if you look at some of our favorite tokens, just look at 𝗙𝗢𝗢. 𝗙𝗢𝗢 is down 80% from its highs, and it is back in November last year territory. Look at the last 3 months on some of the big tokens. EVO down 88%. These are not bad tokens. Mavia down 84%. Dimension down 83%. Rest in peace. Just look at WorldCoin. Look at Strike. Look at all these good projects down 80%. This is like a massive correction. Just look at Celestia, which we said was going to come back, but I didn't think it was going to come back to $6 and $6.50. I've got to be honest. And specifically, I didn't think any of this would happen when the Bitcoin price was still at 64,000. Like I could never have thought that with a Bitcoin price of 64,000, we would get 80 and 90% discount on the altcoins. And the reality is that everything was okay until like last night when we had, what I think was the final capitulation. And you can see that this is the results of the final capitulation. I'll show you. This is all against Bitcoin, but look what happens if I put it up against USDT. Every single token is red, and it's massively red. And so I think this is the chart that actually summarizes everything. If you look at the Bitcoin open interest, nothing really happened with Bitcoin. If you look at what happened yesterday, we had a liquidation of $445 million. Now, $445 million in the big scheme of things is not a big liquidation. Let me just see if I can find a chart that actually shows you how it is in the big scheme of things. Look, it's not a big liquidation, this $445 million. The problem is that the entire 445 million liquidations actually happen on altcoins. And when you put it into perspective and you say the entire $445 million of liquidations happened in altcoins, then the whole thing makes sense. And then you can see that the leverage on all the altcoins, on all the coins excluding Bitcoin and ETH, has decreased from 22 billion to 11 billion by over 50%. And then you can see that what's actually happening right now is that we are in an altcoin capitulation. And unfortunately, not many people are realizing that we are in an altcoin capitulation, in an altcoin crash, because Bitcoin and ETH are basically holding up the market. Now, the reality is that if you look at the timeline and you look at the sentiment out there, and we've been talking about the sentiment for quite a long time, this is what the sentiment's like out there. This is what it's like. And I'm sure you guys know, because you guys are on Twitter just as much as I'm on Twitter. Someone says, Dan Crypto says, sentiment is so down. Within the chat and comments, I don't even see a big battle between bullish and bearish anymore. Everyone is just tired and kind of showing giving up vibes. Can't wait to celebrate weeks of green candles with you guys in the future, whenever that future may actually be. Zuma Oracle, he says, I've never seen this much people turning crazy on the timeline because of a chop at this time. It's not a chop. It is a bear market. There's been an 80% correction. That's what people aren't really realizing. I also know one of the biggest sentiment or gauge of sentiment in the market is when people start ripping off our thumbnails. Now, look, you can laugh as much as you want about our thumbnails. As I said to you yesterday was one of our most viewed show. So remember, we're playing a YouTube game as well as a crypto game, and I think we're doing it better than anyone because you can see how our subscriber numbers are growing. So while the haters keep talking, we just carry on growing. That's the reality of it. But you can see how much salt there is in the timeline. You're seeing people getting liquidated on the timeline. I think this is real. And if this is real, you got to feel sorry for this guy. But he basically got it's Israel. He got completely liquidated. Look, and at 3 o'clock in the morning, 03 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, this guy got completely liquidated, destroyed himself. You can see that this is what's left of his $31,000 gone. He's got $57 in his account. Don't think you can climb back from $57 in the account. People are starting to call this place a scam. Guys, this is altcoin capitulation. This is what it is. Now, the main thing that we got to ask ourselves is, how the hell did we get here? Why are we here? And what can we do about it? Is there something systematically wrong with the market? And this is what we're going to talk about. So I think let's talk about how we actually got this position where we thought we were in a bull market, but actually we're in a bad bear market. And I think the thing that deceived us all was, if you zoom out to the yearly and you take the settings against USD, what you'll realize is that a lot of the tokens are actually up, and are actually up quite a lot. But the tokens that are up are actually a lot of the tokens that we've actually been investing in. So if you look at like our top 10, Arweave is up, Ethereum is up, Solana is up, Pendle is up, Rune is up, Casper's up. All of these are in like our top 10 or top 15 best performing tokens. But as I said, if you look at the total 3, or if you look at the others, which is the total 3 divided by Bitcoin, just look at their performance against Bitcoin. They're down 40% this year against Bitcoin. And so we've got to ask ourselves a question of, how the hell did we get here? What happened now that the altcoins are actually capitulating? And I think that this is where we've got to be honest about what the hell's going on here. So the first issue that we have in the market is the following. You have memes which ate up the entire market. And we've got to call a spade here. Look at what happened in the meme coin market. So I would estimate that over $100 billion flowed into meme coins in the last 3 or 4 months. $100 billion of good money went into the meme coin money. Now, the reality of the meme coin money is exactly this. I've got to find this tweet where we say we used to be in a mindset where we used to ask like, hey, does this coin actually have utility? Now we're saying, this coin doesn't have utility, right? We just want to make sure the coin doesn't have utility, as opposed to asking, what is the use case of the coin? Why am I showing you this? Because one of the reasons why altcoins are capitulating, one of the big reasons why altcoins are capitulating right now, is because memes ate up the entire market. Good money, which was invested in good altcoins, in Bitcoin and in altcoins, went into meme coins. So money went from protocols into vaporware. Money went from protocols that could actually make a difference to the world, and it flowed into hot air. Now, the problem with hot air is it's vaporware. And the problem is that everybody knows that the memes are worth nothing. And when they collapse really fast. And when you take $100 billion of money out of the market, and you move from the meme coins into the protocols, into the meme coins, into vaporware, you're taking money from good protocols and you're moving it into basically hot air. And that is the first thing that actually happened to the market. This says $68 billion. Now, this is number one, it's an old tweet. But number two, this doesn't take into account all the small meme tokens on pump.fun that had a lot of money in them. And so I imagine that about $100 billion went into meme coins. The problem is that if you think about the fact that $100 billion went out of good tokens into meme coins and no new retail investors came in, the money that went into the meme coins is not new money. Now, remember, one of the reasons why we like meme coins is we said meme coins can actually get mass adoption. Meme coins are actually fun. What we didn't want is we didn't want existing crypto people to actually be taking their money and putting their money into meme coins. And that's exactly what happened. Now, why did it happen? Because that's where you could get the easiest returns. You went to the casino. We came here for the casino. We justified it by the fact that we were actually investing. And then we got to a point where we said, you know what? Fuck the investment. Who cares about the investment anymore? Let's just go straight into the casino and not even kid ourselves that we're actually here for the technology. Now the problem is that all that money is wiped out, and the $100 billion is pretty much, or not all of it is wiped out, but a lot of it's wiped out. That's the first thing. I mean, just look at the numbers on pump.fun. $3.6 billion worth of volume on pump.fun. Pump.fun generated $43 million of fees. Now, that could have gone into other protocols. And that's the first part of the market. I think this is a very, very, very good tweet, because what this tweet says this cycle is different. The last cycle, when I was deep noob, it was 𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗡𝗦 and diamond hands all over. But now we are all aware that crypto is a scam and there's absolutely no reason to hold vapor. We used to indulge in the illusion that our gaming coins or our utility coins would actually become mainstream. We shared rumors of how VEC was being used by some car manufacturer and how we believed that staking cake would make us richer than Elon Musk. Now, we're all more mature and we haven't watched cartoons for years, but now we're all putting our money into the meme coins and basically looking into vaporware. And that's the first problem with the market. The first problem with the market, and I must say Sheldon was one of the first people to call it. He said, this meme coin thing is going to crash the whole market. And that's exactly what's landed up happening, is that we got two what's it called? Not disturbed, distracted. We got too distracted by the profits that we could make on the meme coins that we actually forgot that we should actually be investing in protocols. And now the time of reckoning has come and the money on the meme coins has evaporated. People have lost interest in the meme coins and the money's gone away and can't go back into the altcoins. Now, just imagine what $100 billion is for the altcoin market. Imagine $100 billion of inflow into the altcoin market. So the first mistake that we made is we fucked up by taking too much money out of good protocols and putting it into meme coins. And I think that one of the things that's going to happen here is that at the beginning of the next part of the cycle, I think meme coins aren't actually going to be as prevalent. I think they're always going to be around, but the whole cycle is not going to be against meme coins. And actually what I think is that that's a good thing, because I think too much of the share of mind, of the share of attention, of the share of fees actually went into the meme coins. And that's a huge fuck up, okay? We have to reset the cycle. We have to start. I don't mind if 2% of our portfolios and 2% of our attention is in meme coins. When 98% of our mind share, and I did speak about this before, is in meme coins, and when all our spare money is being siphoned into meme coins, I mean, if more than 2% of your portfolio was in meme coins, shame on you, shame on you. And if you look at what happened to meme coins in the last week, this is how much money was actually wiped out of the meme coins. That's the first issue with the market. Now, there's a second issue with the market. There's actually two issues with the market. Three issues. One issue is we went too deep into meme coins and we forgot about the reason why we're here, and the market is coming back to bite us in the ass and teach us a lesson. The second reason, too many coins launched. Too many high FDV tokens launched. We've spoken about this for a long time. And we said, the market structure is broken. There's too many VC-backed high FDV coins coming onto the market. And when they do, they need liquidity, right? You can't just be launching Starknets at a valuation of $10 billion and Wormhole at a valuation of $4 billion. And even you can't just be launching all these big tokens and not have retail coming in. It's like you're launching all these tokens, which means you're diluting and you're diluting and you're diluting and you're diluting. And there's no one coming in to actually buy these altcoins. which means that the only thing that can happen, I explained this to you guys the other day where I said, okay, if I'm holding 10 coins and I'm all in on those 10 coins and you launch another 10 coins and I like the other 10 coins that you launch. Problem is I've only got the same amount of money and now it's going to be spread over 20 coins. And the result is that all 20 coins actually start coming down. That's exactly what's happening. Too many launches, not enough people to buy it, and the money that is in crypto, what have we done with it? We've taken it to the meme coin casino, and unfortunately, you know what happens to money in the casino? It evaporates, and eventually it goes to zero. And that's exactly where we are right now. So now we understand where we are. We're in an altcoin capitulation. We also tell the truth about why we got here. Now, I've always preached that I like meme coins and I'm not changing my view, but I only like meme coins for 2% of your portfolio or 5% of your portfolio. The problem is, and tell me in the comments if I'm right or wrong, but the problem is that you guys went too much. You went too much into the meme coins. I kept saying, I love meme coins, but for a small part of your portfolio. I love meme coins. It's the adrenaline while the market's moving sideways. You know what I did? I did an exercise. I went through the GUMMY holders. And I went to see what other tokens were in their wallets. Guys, it's a shit show. The people that hold GUMMY, because I was looking at the blockchain explorer from the people that actually own GUMMY. And it's a fucking shit show. You guys are holding 80% of your Solana wallets are all in meme coins. What happened to holding fundamental good projects? That is the problem. That is the problem. Yeah. Bull market issues. If you want some, let me know. Anyway, we all got greedy. Someone says we all got greedy. Yes, exactly. You all got greedy. You all got stupid. Now the market's reset and it's going to remind you, and we're going to break out of this unhealthy meme coin cycle, and we're going to have a healthy meme coin cycle. What is a healthy meme coin cycle? Where 97% of our time is spent on real protocols and 3% of our time is spent in meme coins, not the other way around. Not the other way around. Now, you know what scares me the most? That we are in a huge correction on altcoins, and that is when Bitcoin is still at 65,000. What happens? Just humor me for 1 second. What happens if Bitcoin goes to 58,000 tomorrow? What happens to our altcoins? What happens if Bitcoin goes to 55,000? Is it impossible? It's not impossible. It can happen. No, I'm not saying it will happen. I'm saying it can happen. What happens if that happens? What do your altcoin bags actually look like? What if Bitcoin just breaks down to the bottom of this range and just gets to 60,000? What do your altcoin bags actually look like? And that's the question that you should be asking yourself. That's the question that you should be asking yourself. All right, so I mean, look, we all know where we are now. We all know why we got here, and I think now the big question is, what do we do now? Specifically, what do you do if your portfolio looks like my portfolio and you're all in, we're a majority in altcoins. Let's call a spade a spade. Let's stop lying to each other. What do we do now? You're in this position. You're holding all these altcoins. What do you actually do now? So I want to tell you guys exactly what I think we need to be doing. The first thing is, let's get out of garbage and let's make sure we're in quality. We don't know how long this is going to last. This could last another day, another week, another month. The main thing that you got to make sure is that you can ride the bottom back up to the top. Now, listen, if you're holding bad quality tokens, if you got swept away, if you're holding too many meme coins, don't wait until tomorrow. Do it today and switch your tokens into quality. Now, we spoke about my top 10 and whatever else. Now, you can see we spoke about all these high conviction coins and whatever else. There's a lot of unbelievable buys in the market, but the main thing is just make sure that you are in quality. Don't be, if you are in two tokens, if you are in a token and the token's not a quality token and it's moved down, and you say to yourself, look, I don't want to sell now. Sell it now and put it into another token that you believe is quality. And when I say quality, quality means is going to recover, is going to get very, very, very go up. You don't know how long this is going to last. This could last another 3 months. What are you going to do? Bitcoin could go down to 55,000. What are you going to do? The only thing that you can do is make sure that you actually survive. How do you survive? You hold tokens that can make it up out the end of the cycle. That's the first thing that I'd be doing. The second thing that I would be doing, and sorry, what would I actually do now? And I posted this in Frontrunners, which is our Discord group. And there's a lot of stuff that I post in the Discord group. This was one of the things that I posted. I said, look, number one, the best thing to do now is switch off from the market. The second thing is, compare your current portfolio to what your model portfolio would be. So what I recommend that you do is just say to yourself, look, if I was out of crypto and I was coming into crypto today, what would I do? What would my portfolio look like? Create a model portfolio. Create a model portfolio like that. And then compare that to your current portfolio. Now, if those two portfolios don't look the same, you're holding the wrong tokens. Switch the tokens out today, immediately. Make sure that your portfolio is equal to your model portfolio and do that today. The second thing is, and I know it sounds crazy, but this is I think this is one of the best things that you can do. The best way to protect my gains in the correction is not to look at my P&L until we're at all-time highs. You'll notice that I have a lot of tabs open here, but you'll notice that some of the tabs that I usually have open that I don't have open today. I don't have any of my exchanges open today. I don't want to see my P&L. I don't want to see my P&L because it's just going to make me do stupid things and it's going to make me upset. Honestly, zoom out, make sure you're in quality coins, zoom out, and don't look at your portfolios. Trust me, the best thing to sometimes do is step away from the computer and don't look at your portfolio. I love this message. It says, don't open your portfolio tracker, don't open your portfolio tracker, don't open your portfolio tracker. That is the best thing. You have to zoom out and you have to remember that in the big scheme of things, this feels like a huge correction, but in the big scheme of things, this is nothing. And someone says, yeah, you can buy the next Apple and still lose money if you sell at the bottom. Don't sell. If you're in quality, it's too late. You have missed the opportunity to sell, or at least I believe that you've missed the opportunity to sell. Now your only hope of recovery, if you're here now, your only hope of recovery is riding this out. But if you want to ride this out, holding a bunch of garbage meme coins and a bunch of garbage shit coins, those things ain't going to recover. The quality is going to recover, and 80% of the meme coins is out, are going to be out. So make sure you're in quality. Make sure you're in quality that will go down but actually still recover, and keep thinking, am I in the next Apple or in the next Google and stuff like that? And if you're not, then change your portfolios. So that is what I want you guys to do if you're in the market. If you still have money, okay, now if you're one of those rare people that still actually have dry powder, okay, like, don't know how you've got it, but if you are one of those crazy people that still have dry powder, then number one, make yourself a buy list. I'll drop this here. This is what the researchers created. I haven't filled mine in. I'll fill it in later today, and I'll drop it here, and I'll drop it in Frontrunners, which is our Discord group. By the way, if you want to join Frontrunners, you can't join. What you can do though is you can join the waiting list, which is second one. See here? You click here and you join the waiting list. The next time someone leaves, it's first come, first serve, first leave, first go, first leave, first go. The problem with Frontrunners is when you leave, you can't come back. The same username can't come back. So that's the first thing. Number one, don't look at your portfolios. Number two, make sure that you're holding quality. Number three, make a buy list and actually start buying now. Because I read a couple of tweets and I know they're all true. The best time to be buying is when there's a capitulation. And I can tell you that having been here for 3 cycles, this is as much of a capitulation as I've ever seen. And I'll say something else. I'll put my neck out there and I'll say, we're near the bottom. We're very, very, very close to the bottom. Someone says here, it's probable that we've seen the top for Solana this cycle. The scam meta can't last forever. We've already hit the inflection point where evil is being properly recognized as evil again. Sentiment of alt is near the last summer's low. We'll keep scaling into the most hated assets. He also said, the same guy, Beanie, says, if I wake up and alts are lower, I'll be happy because I can buy more at stupidly cheap prices. Manifest your wealth. Don't leverage. Just keep buying till the reversal. It'll happen fast and furious. Most of crypto Twitter will miss it as usual because they are, I'm not going to say the word. That's why they're poor. Someone says, you either believe that crypto is dead or you're buying alts here. And I think that this is the tweet. You either believe that this is the end of altcoins and we'll never see an altcoin market here, or you got to be buying here because we're at that point. It's either they're dead or you got to be buying. Now you got to pick which side you're on. Are we going to recover? If we are going to recover, you better be buying at these levels. If they're dead, then you should sell your positions and get out and get back into Bitcoin. Nobody knows exactly when the altcoin cycle will bottom out, but we can be sure that the bottom's close now. Don't try catch a falling knife. If you want to buy more, start doing some DCA and wait for some strength to return. I'm fully deployed. I mean, I don't have any more, unless I want to sell a kidney or a testicle. I don't know what can you sell these days in the market? Unless you're willing to sell, you basically can't do it. Okay, so that's pretty much where we're at. What I recommend you do, make sure that you're in quality. Don't look at your portfolios. And if you have money, I mean, this is probably the best time to DCA. The last thing I would say is zoom the hell out and remember that this is normal. When you look back at June, July, August months of previous bull markets, you see us doing exactly the same things in the summer months, which is charging up for the second half of the grand finale. Your job right now is to survive, to preserve financial capital, and to preserve mental capital. That's one of the most profound tweets that I've read today. This is normal. The final capitulation before the massive recovery, exactly as it did in 2016. I always say you should do it. I also want to remind you that we had Zoran, who is, I would say, the biggest shorter out there. He's been the biggest. He took the massive shorts. We spoke about him yesterday. The good news is that even he's closed his shorts. He said, shorts closed. Thanks for playing Cold World. Basically, even the biggest bears have now said, okay, you know what, this is a big enough correction. And just keep your eyes on the big picture. And the big picture is that your targets are so low that we are going to get a 5-digit ETH, at least. We also must remember the stock markets are running and there will be a catch-up trade to the stock markets. There will be a catch-up trade to the NASDAQ by Bitcoin. And you can see the NASDAQ is again rallying every single day. So just zoom out. So, I mean, just to summarize, let's quickly summarize. Number one, make sure you're in quality. Number two, don't look at your portfolio. Number three, if you have money, start buying now. Number four, zoom the fuck out. Zoom out, stop looking at the charts, stop looking at it today, and look at the big picture. But you can only look at the big picture if you are in good quality altcoins. You cannot look at the big picture if you're in meme coins or whatever else. If you're in meme coins, start selling them, get out, and get yourself into quality. So that is my recommendation for you guys. As I said to you yesterday, the other part of my recommendation is in this time where the markets aren't moving and the markets aren't fun, rather use this time constructively. And what I mean by use this time constructively, take this time to learn a new skill, something that you don't already have. One of the skills that I recommend you learn is learn how to trade, because that will make you a richer and better trader. If you want to learn how to trade, we are launching
how we're going to do this. And it all begins with trend. Trend is number one. It is the highest priority, and it's what makes everything else viable. From there, we will go to volatility. Volatility will give us a bias on how to time things. When is most likely to happen? And then three, we're going to add a momentum oscillator, the stochastic oscillator, in order to generate.
So when you want to do that, there's the free course. Eric Crown's course is free, but you've got to sign up using this link. You've got like a week left to sign up. Just sign up as quickly as you can, because that is what you do in a bear market. Take your mind off the markets and go and get a new skill, which is actually trading. So that is the first. That is what I would be doing. All right, let's talk about a couple of other things. Number one, I don't know if you guys have seen this DLT coin, this Donald Trump coin, which launched. There was an announcement by Pirate Wire that's saying that a real Donald J. Trump coin has launched, and it's being headed by Baron Trump. Guys, I think this is garbage. I've looked at all the data here. I think it's absolute garbage. I'll show you the tweet that actually convinced me that. So I want to show you the tweet that actually convinced me. The LP is not locked. It's funded from KuCoin. It's not a standard contract. There's one single source, which is Pirate Wise, and the top owners have 67% of the coins. Do not touch this coin. You will get wrecked. Okay, you will get wrecked. Also, I posted a poll yesterday about GUMMY on my Twitter, and I said, what should we do with the remaining GUMMY tokens? Now, there are a whole lot of tokens that we have to give away in terms of the airdrops. And of course, we're going to give away all those airdrops exactly like we said. But then there's still about 250 million tokens. 25% of the tokens are still in the marketing fund and future airdrop fund. Now, what I asked you guys is, should we burn the remaining GUMMY, or should we just keep airdropping tokens? Now, the reason I asked is because the chart's getting killed all the time, because every time we give away free airdrops, the guys are dumping it. So one of the ideas actually here in the chat yesterday, was just burn all the tokens. So if you want me to burn all the tokens, just go to my Twitter and vote. Tomorrow, we will do what you guys say. So, I mean, don't be surprised if I arrive here tomorrow and I do a full Andrew Tate, take my shirt off, tattoos, everything, sit here, and I burn all the GUMMY tokens live, and I proclaim that I'm the daddy now. What do you say? I'm the daddy now. This space is mine now. Okay. Let me know in the comments what you want me to do. Also, I want to just while I've got you guys here. So remember 𝗙𝗥𝗢𝗡𝗦. We spoke about 𝗙𝗥𝗢𝗡𝗦 a lot, and I said to you guys, I want to be in the top 10. Now, we are number 10 for the main usage on 𝗙𝗥𝗢𝗡. Okay, you can see we're number 10. The problem is that number 11 is starting to catch us very, very, very fast. So I want to remind you all what 𝗙𝗔𝗢𝗢 is. If you want to move money from one chain to another chain, instead of moving it to a centralized exchange, say you got money on ETH and you want to move it to Solana. Instead of doing that on a centralized exchange, you just go to 𝗙𝗔𝗢𝗢 and you say, look, like in this account, I've got 0.06 ETH. So I say, I want to move from ETH on the ETH network to whatever, to Solana on the Solana network. And I just put in the Solana address over here, and I don't have a Solana address right now, but I just put it in here. And within 4 seconds, I can bridge money from one place to another. Now, guys, if you want to get some of the 𝗙𝗔𝗢𝗢 airdrop, and you want to get some of the last GUMMY airdrop before we probably burn the tokens, just go over here and use the 𝗙𝗔𝗢𝗢𝗢 link. At the same time, you will be getting 2 airdrops, GUMMY and 𝗙𝗔𝗢𝗢𝗢 airdrop, and you'll be saving yourself a lot of time. Within 10 seconds, your bridge will actually start happening. All right, guys, I think that's it for today. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow, because tomorrow is a big show. Tomorrow is either we burn the GUMMY or we don't burn the GUMMY show, and it's all based on how you vote on my Twitter. So I'll see you guys again tomorrow. If we're burning the tokens, I'll be wearing an Andrew Tate outfit. I'll have an Andrew Tate tattoo. I will have, maybe I should bring my brother in here to dance. Don't they dance after they burn the tokens? I think they do. See you guys again tomorrow. Until then, trade well, my friends.